What's up, everybody? Trying to grab Origin Live to go live on here. You guys like to send these requests. There we go. We were just having a little conversation, and as we have these conversations, I think it's cool for other people to be able to tune in. There's Pete Roberts
You can call me Bane.
in the foothills of Maine, kicking it. And yeah, so as been happened a couple times before, Pete and I are having conversations about what's going on. I think it's interesting for other people to get to listen in. One of the things that happened this morning is I sent Pete a couple texts. One of them I'm looking at here was from the official city guidance from Los Angeles, and it said, Angelenos should wear non-medical face coverings in public. It said coverings can be made using a scarf or extra cloth and should be used in addition to physical distancing, and medical grade N95 masks are reserved for medical workers and first responders. So that's the first text I sent to Pete. And then I sent him another text that says residents in Texas City can face $1,000 fine for not wearing some form of covering over their nose and mouth.
Yep.
So, you guys have already heard me kind of talk through the evolution of this and how at first I thought let's make masks, and then we heard that the masks aren't going to help, and so we kind of backed away from it, and then we found out that guess what, people need to wear masks. That's where we're at right now. We've made a ton of masks. Pete's made probably 50,000 masks so far, 30,000.
Yeah, probably a lot at this point. Yeah, the days are bleeding together a little bit, but I think right now we'll be by the end of 30 to 50,000. I think by the end of next week we'll be at 60,000, and we're gonna retool and get some of these denim ones going too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so the denim ones, working on those right now, and part of that's a material thing. Part of it's just a different design that some people are going to prefer. So we're trying to give people options and trying to get options for us as well as we try and find material. Luckily, we got some denim on hand. This is the same denim that's the Delta
68. The Delta mask, man. The Delta mask. Plus, I feel like I look like I'm on Mortal Kombat or something, you know?
Yeah, which is cool. As you told me earlier, everyone wants to look like a ninja. So it's just interesting from a business perspective how this stuff unfolds. We haven't completely shut down the other lines yet, but getting very close to shutting down the other lines to just make these. That's where the demand signal is for America. That's what America needs right now. So, we still got some stuff in stock, but that's what we're doing. The interesting thing is on the nutrition side, on the Jocko fuel side, again, what we see now, which I wouldn't have predicted this, but what we see is people are not going out to dinner. People are not going out to eat. People are not even going to the grocery store. So the massive spike in sales on milk, so people get their protein. Did you see that coming?
Here's the thing, like, people want to limit their exposure, but everybody likes the taste of a steak. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm not a steak, but with the insanity right now with everything, I think people are just purchasing their product online. Oh, I'm going to get my protein product online. I remember walking into my great yaaaaa, right? My grandmother, I'm Greek, so her name, she was yaaaaa. She lived through the Great Depression. You'd walk into her house, bro. I'm telling you, it was walls and walls of canned food. Right now, if we had milk back then, it'd be walls of milk. That's what people are doing now. It's wild. They're consuming the product. So we're like, cool. Like, we locked down our supply chain for a year, so it's not like we did that funny video yesterday, the Bane video. And that was supposed to be like, okay, we're buying into the insanity, gotta protect the milk. But you know, we're trying to make light of it a little bit. Like, listen, you know, definitely limit your exposure. I think everyone, we're following the guidelines, the CDC, Trump, everybody is kind of released, Fauci, Dr. Fauci, whatever, like following the guidelines. But it's kind of like strange times, because even my wife Amanda, she like, they're limiting what she purchases at the grocery store. So what are people doing naturally? Well, they're going and supplementing their groceries with protein supplements, you know, and that type of food product. So
Yeah.
you know, it's good. I mean, it's good. It's cool. Like, we're not complaining. Like, we'll just ship
When's
all the milk we can.
when's raw milk going on the website?
The raw. Hold on a sec. I'll ask Sid.
So
Hey, Sid.
so we started making milk with no flavor because people want to put it in their pancakes.
Raw milk.
People want to put it in their
live.
You know, in their smoothies. What?
Sid said it's live.
Oh, okay.
It's live. Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
Well, there you go. So you can put, so people like that because they can put it in their whatever they're making. They can put it in their smoothie that they're making. They can put it in their pancakes, whatever. Just people like to put protein. And so we got raw milk now on there. So that'll be another thing that'll be lining people's walls.
Yeah.
But the important thing, I think, from a business perspective, though, the cool thing is, well, the interesting thing, this is what, you know, for people that are in business out there, they know what we're talking about, but maybe they can learn from it. Maybe they can type suggestions if they have any, but you know, you're always, you know, you got a amount of money on hand. You got to figure out how much of a raw materials that you're going to make your product with, how much you want to spend on those raw materials. The more you buy at one time, the lower the price for that is. So you want to buy as much as you can, but you also don't know if your product's going to sell. So you don't want to overinvest in a product that might not move. So those are the kind of things we've been balancing. Luckily, as you said, like we've been moved, you know, people like milk because it tastes good and it is good. So that's why we have over or almost a year's worth of supply of that.
Bro, when this thing broke in China, I had a conversation with you and Brian. I don't know if you remember this conversation. And it was, hey, lock down the supply chain, period. Yeah. Because the reason was all the domestic monk fruit is really what we needed to lock down, because all of our products are sweetened with monk fruit. So the first thing was lock down all the monk fruit, everything in America, lock it down. And we did this like 6 weeks ago, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, let's lock down like protein sources also. Yeah. But you know, if it was up to my wife, she wants just flour, bro. She can't get any flour right now. So she's bartering. A friend in Ohio, Andy Reith, she's sending, I don't know what she's going to send him. She'll probably just send him some like venison, a deer we shot or something. She'll probably send, but he literally sent her a photo. I'm sending you 2 bags of flour because they have flour in Ohio, but they don't have any flour in Maine. And they're like, we don't know when we're going to have flour again. And we're like, holy shit. You can't get flour. So, you know, things are getting a little crazy.
What's the lockdown status up in Maine? What are they telling you? What's the word from the government?
Well, the Governor Mills, actually, her house, you can see it out the factory window here. So the governor's house is like just up the road right there.
How you doing, Governor?
How you doing, Governor? She's never been to Origin. I'm not sure why, but she should come visit us sometime. Her brother's one of my lawyers. Yeah. But she yeah, no doubt. So she locked down the state, and she's like, you know, basically a stay-at-home order. And some people were saying like, oh, you need a pass to leave your house. I'm like, so our what do you call it? Sheriff or whatever, the guy that runs the police department, that's Ty's. It's Ty's uncle. He wrote a big statement like, this isn't communist Russia, this isn't East Germany, like during, you know, the Cold War. He's like, this is America. He's like, I'm not going to pull you over and check your hall pass to see if you can travel in America. So I thought that was pretty cool. you know, holding strong there, but it's pretty locked down. Like all the non-essential businesses closed. We're an essential business, and actually the nutritional division and this division is essential because we're making the masks and the nutrition. We're making, you know, nutritional stuff, getting the milk bar plant up and going, but we're shipping all that stuff to Amazon and to customers. So we're all still working. Like we're still cranking, dude. We're cranking. So
what's the case situation up in Maine? How much coronavirus is there up there?
I think we're up to about 350 cases, and most of them are in kind of like the 2 counties just above Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But my sister Sarah she's in the mix in Worcester, and as I told you before, not good. Yeah. They just set up. You know, you ever heard of the DCU Center in Worcester? It's this big center. It's called the DCU Center in Worcester, and they're like, I guess they got the Army Corps of Engineers there setting up beds, and then they turned like an ice skating rink kind of thing into a morgue, like it's because it's cold. So it's definitely hitting close to home, you know. None of us. There's probably few people alive who have ever been through a pandemic, you know. Spanish flu. There's a guy I saw live through the Spanish flu, right, and through this. That was pretty wild, like 100-something-year-old guy. But this is gonna be an awakening, man. After this, about, you know, not to get onto a soapbox, but why our American supply chain is so damn important. We lose ourselves if we lose that. We actually lose ourselves. So,
and what's awesome is we have the capability to have the supply chain here. Luckily, America's so big. We have so much raw material, you know, everything from energy to the products that we grow. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah. And then a little shout out to the Army Corps of Engineers.
Hell yeah.
What they're doing right now across the country in all these cities. And, you know, I've always had ever since I was in the Battle of Ramadi, and it was the Army engineers were just, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe what these guys were doing, building these combat outposts in the middle of horrible situations. And, you know, out there in the middle of the street, like there'd be one of these big concrete T-barriers. They're like 12 feet tall. They'd have them on flatbed trucks when they're trying to build a combat outpost. And there's a crane, like a crane with steel up around the driver and bulletproof glass. But so he's somewhat protected, but then there's some Army privates out there freaking hooking that cable into one of those T-barriers and hoisting it. They're hoisting it into place and then unhooking it. Yeah, the engineers, just nothing but respect and admiration for those guys, what they did for me back then and for us back then, and then what they're doing right now is pretty phenomenal to see. So all you guys,
did they actually have, you know like the GI Joe, they had the bridge layer? Is that a real thing? Did they actually
they really have things
bridge
like that.
layer?
They really do.
So they can move and set up camp, and they can lay down a bridge over something and they go over it.
Yeah, I mean,
with their raw materials and just boom.
There's limitations to what those bridge spanners, but then if they don't, then they have like little pontoon bridges that they can set up really quickly. Yeah, they are. I mean, that's like real American stuff that America, like you have to be a superpower to have that kind of capability on a grand scale. You know, it's like an aircraft carrier. I mean, aircraft carriers are they're insane, bro. They're totally insane when you see those things in action. And the fact that we have many, many aircraft carriers and all the fighter jets to fill them up, it's pretty awesome. But those things too, like when the American military built stuff, they always try and have a complete American supply chain. So you know it can be done. Sometimes it might be more expensive, but look at the price we're paying right now, you know, when we don't do that. So
did you see that train that guy took off the rails trying to crash it into the ship in California? California, right?
Yeah.
Was that in California?
It was in LA.
How far? Okay, so that's a couple hours from you.
Yep.
That's wild, dude.
What the guy thought it was? The guy
thought it was like a conspiracy or something, and he decided he was going to take out the ship, so he drove the train off the rails towards the ship, trying to crash into it.
How did he get a hold of the train?
I think he was the conductor or whatever, the director or
How do
whatever
you,
it's called.
hey, trains don't have a steering wheel.
I know. They just move in one direction. I mean, he took out a couple of cars, and it's a conspiracy theory. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Dang.
it's just definitely strange times. So.
Anyways, I just think it's definitely strange times, but I think there's good lessons to be learned. You know, as always lessons to be learned from things that are going on. The whole supply chain thing, balancing out how much product we have on hand. You know, being able to supply people right now, trying to, you know, as fast as you and the team, I mean, has pivoted up there and streamline. You sent me a text saying, hey, we're gonna make, I think the first day you made 790 masks, then it was like 900, then it was like 1,000, and then it was 4,000 as you got good at it, as your team got good at it.
They do the work.
Exactly.
I sit there for a couple hours trying to stitch, and I'm like, oh, my back is sore.
Yeah.
You know, my father-in-law's been every day he's stitching, dude. Joe is stitching every day. Every day. We are making face shields right now for Maine Health. 7,500 units. We're making 1,000 a day right now because we're making them out of geese shit. Like, we're making ghee masks is what we're making. But I got a text today, and they're like, I see everybody in the hospital right now walking around with Origin face shields, and I know it's yours. Why? Because there's a big lapel going. I mean, this is what it looks like. You know what I mean? There's just like, you know, it's just like this right here. Like a big lapel across their forehead. But it's good. You want to pick? That's Nicole right there.
What's up,
Jocko
Nicole?
says, what's up? So, but yeah, you're right. And like, we're like, what's crazy is our raw materials too. Like, we have a couple of knitters. We have Weaver in Georgia. They weave our denim for us, our knitter. We have a knitter about 3 hours away. And what sucks is they're starting to talk about like shutting down. So luckily we did lock down our raw materials. You know, like, there was some good forward thinking there, I think, and that goes to the team. But like, we can make 170,000 denim masks, and I think people will wait for their jeans so we can make masks. I don't think they're going to have a problem waiting for their jeans. So we're just going to keep pivoting until we chew through every last bit of raw material we have to contribute to the success of beating this. What's
the deal with the mask you're wearing right now? When are those going to go live?
I'm going to try to get them live next week. I'm tweaking the pattern a little bit. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit so that the binding goes up over the ear. You know what I mean? So how it's terminating.
So it's aimed up over the ear, yeah.
Yeah, so it's aimed, so I don't want it to terminate like that. And I'm going to decrease the binding here. We don't need as much fabric. I'm going to do a single needle here. And then we're going to do a flat lock on the front seam. We're flat locking it, which is a super skilled thing to do. So other than that, it's just a badass American woven denim masks, and they're requiring everyone to wear masks. I guess in Texas, what, it's $1,000 if you don't have a mask on?
Yeah. And I see a couple comments coming across, and it's the same original thoughts that I had, which is, wait a second, if this thing isn't 100% good, then we shouldn't make them. Here's the deal. All the officials in America are now saying, put something across your face. That's why we're making these things.
They say put a bandana across, put anything across your face. And people are like, oh, the denim is rough. Not the Delta denim. Haven't you heard Jocko say it's the most comfortable thing you'll ever put on your legs? It's the most comfortable. It's a soft, this is really, really soft denim. So it's badass. It's not rough at all. People want to know if you can add a filter. You can't add a filter to this. No, it's a single layer of protection. It's for urban assault. You want to look like you're in Mortal Kombat walking to the grocery store. You're going for that can. They're going to back off. You have the mask on. You're going for the can. They're backing off. They're like, oh, shit, he's a ninja. He's getting the friggin' can.
Yeah. And again, a lot of people are thinking that, they really like the idea on the death mask, which you can put a filtering material in there. So this one, I don't think we're going to have that option on this one, but you know, it's for that basic layer of protection, which is what people are advising all of us to do. So anyways, that's what's up,
man.
Anyways, I just wanted to check in with everybody, man. I think there's so much going on. It's always good to connect with people and let them know what's happening from a business perspective, from our perspective, from an American perspective, from what's going on, from the pivots that we're making, to try and support what's going on and help people out there in the country. So we'll keep doing it.
Absolutely, man. I think the key here is like, don't stop. Like just because your schedule has changed and it feels like things have maybe slowed down, like, don't stop doing what you're doing, whatever that is. You just got to think outside the box. You know, this may be our new norm for a little bit, you know, and you can decide, you know, you can thrive in it, you know, if that's what you choose to do. And that goes back to everything you talk about with discipline and prioritizing and executing. You've been posting all those awesome videos online on your Instagram page with, you know, the different lists and everything. Like, it's not rocket science, you know, it's a situation, it's having impact, and you got to think outside the box, choose the angle, do jujitsu on it, and figure out a solution that works for you and your family. So everyone is doing that. Everyone is. And I think you're going to start seeing people really come together to make this thing go away and be successful in the long run. So.
Yeah, and this is what America does. We've been through these kind of things before, so we're gonna do it again.
100%. That's right.
All right, man. I'll
All right,
talk to you
brother.
later.
Peace out.
Out here.